Good morning, everybody. It's Dawn back at Always in Stitches in Noblesville, Indiana. Back for a meet me at the sew machine because we're going to do Schoolgirl blocks from our wonderful book, Schoolgirl Sampler. 72 simple 4-inch blocks, and that's really what it is. Look right here, we're on block 31 already. Wowza. Wowza McGee. That's just fabulous. These blocks are so much fun to do, and they're quick, and if you just do a couple a week, by no time you're going to have 31 and 32 blocks done, because that's how it happened to us. So when I was looking at the blocks this morning, this one is called Broken Dishes. Kind of fun. I used green and gold. I thought that was pretty combo together. And then here for my Firefly, she used a little gold that kind of looks like a firefly. And I kind of used this turquoise because I thought that turquoise was really, really pretty. And I wanted to use that in the quilt somewhere. Then Cappy, she's using her Wild and Crazy Get Out the Sunglasses fabrics. And so here's her Broken Dishes. Really, really pretty. I'm loving how she's using her solids. You know, when you have a print that's really, really wild and crazy and colorful and fun, you have to have someplace for your eye to rest. And that is when the solids play in. So when you are thinking about doing a quilt, think about how you can work in some solids, because that is important. Our solids are off onto an area all by themselves, but when you're planning a quilt, don't forget to think about, oh, maybe I would like to incorporate some solids into that. And then down here on her Firefly block, she did it really different than we did, because Kathleen and I, Kathleen's the author of the book, we made our little Firefly dark and Cappy made hers light. Isn't that sweet? But the one thing that stuck out in this block to me that Cappy did was that I wanted to talk to you about, and I don't know if we've covered this or not. Maybe we have, but it's always nice to hear it again to remind ourselves that when we're doing little bitty blocks like this, you have to consider the scale of the design that's in the fabric, okay? So I got this one down. She'd done this one a while back. And it's a flamingo print, just like this is a flamingo print. But this is a little bitty a rectangle, and if she would have used that part of the fabric, well, that would have just been decapitating her flamingo, and that means blood and guts, and you don't want that. And then if she would have done this, it would have only been the head of the flamingo. As you're looking at your fabric, you want to consider these things. And here she fussy cut a little bird. Isn't that cute? She's an English paper piecer. So she really knows and has trained her eye to seek out little elements in her fabrics. And she chooses fabrics that have fun, cutesy little things. My fabric, Civil War fabric, wasn't much of a, in design, much of a patterny, cutesy kind of themed fabric. It was more or less just a print that had dots or polywogs or little motifs that were already small, but that were not figures or, you know, fruit and all that kind of stuff. So my fabric, I don't tend to fussy cut as much, because there may be a stripe or a directional fabric every once in a while that I could use in fussy cutting, but not very often. So those are the two differences in using a fabric that has scale and a fabric that just is small scale all over versus what Cappy's using. And I just love her choices. You know, this would not go in my house because these are not the colors I'd use, but this is just totally Cappy, definitely. And this is just totally me over here. So aren't we blessed that we have, in this modern age, the opportunity to select the fabrics that echo our likes and dislikes? You know, when we first started quilting in the 60s and 70s, when quilting made a resurgence, We didn't have those choices. I mean, you had to beg for yellow fabric. There just was no yellow fabric, maybe one print that was yellow. Or, you know, you just didn't have the opportunities that we have today. Sometimes today it feels like it's on overload because there's so many choices. But I think that's a good thing for the industry. So let's get started making block 31 and block 32 over here at the sewing machine. Now, these blocks were really pretty simple. They were a couple diagonal seams, and then it just went together lickety split. And so, you know, I start with a large square. Now, if you have to, draw the line, and so 1/4 inch on each side. I did it with dark thread so you could kind of see where my lines were. And then you cut that in half, and then you square it up. And you know, if you have to be caught on a desert island with only one ruler, this might be my choice right there. So I'm going to cut these little, I'm not calling them dog ears anymore because I just don't like the idea of cutting off your dog's ears. I'm just going to call them these little side triangles. Now, before I open that up though, I want to get it to the size, and the book tells you. That's why you have the book. It tells you exactly what size you need these triangles to be squared up to. So go ahead and square those up. And I'm going to do the same thing. Now, what I love about this ruler is not only does it give me those diagonal measurements, but it also has a 1/4 inch line here on the edge, and I can just line that up and cut between. Is that essential? No, but it's nice to have it. You know, if you're going to have a tool, you might as well use it to its full ability. And then I'm going to just cut off the excess. There's not a lot of excess. You know, you don't want so much. You don't want your squares to be so big that it's giving you a lot of waste. You don't want a lot of waste. I'm a very frugal. When it comes to my fabric, I'm a very frugal cutter. In the book, she tells you to cut these squares an odd increment. Go ahead and bump those up to the full increment, and then we'll size them down after we sew them. I always like to do that when I can. Sometimes you can't do that, you know. If you don't get a chance to square it up before you sew it in, you have to go by the measurements that are given in the book. Now this one I waited to sew because it's so dark. Well, here, let me put it on that side. I've already sewn one line. I'm envisioning that there's a line through the diagonal. It's actually on my sewing machine here. I've used that diagonal tape, that seam tape. We do have that in stock again. We got our first batch. It went out the door in lickety split. Now we've got our second batch, and I don't think we have a lot left, but we have enough for those of you who want some to get it. And if we run out, you know what? We know how to reorder it, so we can always get some more in. That's the name of the game around here. We order stuff for you. You buy it. We order again for somebody else. That's how we keep the doors open. That's how we pay Peter to do all this fancy schmancy video taping. And that's how they pay me. And, you know, it's just a vicious cycle that way. But without you guys, without you tuning in every week and supporting me and Peter and enjoying our videos, and buying stuff from our brick and mortar shop and our online shop, well, we wouldn't exist. And then where would you buy your fabric? Well, you'd buy it from somebody else, but then they'll eventually go out of business too, because if you're not supporting them, you need to understand how all that works. Oh my goodness, how did I get on that rant? I have no idea. Just talking. Today I'm just a little chatterbug. And then that's all there is to that. This is one whole block right here, 4 half square triangles. And then here's my other block, and it just had 2 half square triangles. And don't you love that you can make take 2 fabrics, put them together, sew a couple seams, and voila, you've got half square triangles. I think that's just like magic, like pulling a rabbit right out of the hat. Isn't that fun? This is what being sleep deprived does to you. It just makes you chatty. I'm not on any kind of meds at the moment, so I can't blame that. Can't blame meds. Okay, so my little
You're detoxing.
Yeah, I'm detoxing. So my little dark ones are going to go to the middle there. And then I'm going to go ahead and open these up. And you're going to get to see what colors I chose for my broken dishes. Broken dishes. Sounds like a funny name for a quilt block, but it's a very popular quilt block. Broken dishes. Do you, Peter, know what the Indiana State quilt block is? By any chance?
I don't. What is it?
It's the Snail's Trails.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Snail's Trails is our quilt block. I think every month, all 50 states have a quilt block. Somebody just made it up. I mean, you know, somebody just went through and assigned them. It's not like it's a historical thing or anything. It's not like when the forefathers came to the land of Indiana and made it a territorial or a territory that they said, now, before we make this a territory, we got to decide what quilt block is going to be the quilt block. Or else we can't be a territory. I'm telling you right now. Oh my gosh. I've only had tea to drink this morning. I'm in a goofy mood. I can't help it. That's the way I am today. So there they are. The blocks are all laid out and ready to be sewn together. So let's start with the one that has the most most blocks to it. So I think, you know what, I'm going to start out by doing this 4 patch. So I'm just going to take that and flip that over. I'm going to do the 4 patch in the middle first. You know what, I think I forgot to size this one up because it's way too big. Let me see what I did. You don't want to use them unless you size them up. Yeah, I think I forgot to size this one up. Look at that. Probably did both. Forgot to do both of them. So what was my first clue? Well, let me show you. When I put it on my my square that it was supposed to match up to, look. Can they see that?
Yeah. It's
way too big. So instead of saying, oh, I'll just go ahead and do it. No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to fix it. I got to talking and giggling at myself. I forgot to square these up. I'm surprised Peter didn't catch that because he's pretty good spy guy. He lets me know. And I remember the time my rotary cutter blade was dull. No, Peter, it's not dull. Oh, yes, it is, Dawn. No, Peter, it's not dull. Yes, it is, Dawn. And Peter was right. It was dull as could be. Yeah, I just cut these right in two and forgot to size them up. Better than to be too big than to be too little, don't you think? I do. So there we go. Now they're the right size. When I put that, oh, we better put them back on here so we can get them in the right place. There we go. So now when I flip this over, it's going to be the right size. Right sides together. Line them up. Pin them if you want to. I'm not going to pin them. Some people like to pin. I am a pinner. But this is such a small piece, I'm not going to pin. So I'm going to flip that over. Lay those like they're supposed to be and go ahead and sew those together. And then I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to start sewing this.
Yeah, but what I'm just saying is that
And I go down here and sew this one. Now we asked you last week if you wouldn't post some of your Christmas in July, some of your Christmas quilts on the Insider group. We got one taker, Ginger Maffey. Is this the video where we asked him to do that? Yeah, I thought so. And then we also said we had a big surprise for you, and that's going to be later on today. Stay tuned on our YouTube channel. We'll let you know. You know, if you hit that subscribe button, you get a little reminder that we've posted something. So whenever we're posting things, it gives you a little thing on your computer or your laptop or your phone or whatever you're using there that says, hey, check it out. Always in Stitches has posted something that you need to know about.
What did Ginger win?
Ginger didn't win anything. What do you mean? What
Didn't we have a giveaway?
That was in the needle punch video.
The needle punch, we had a giveaway. Got it.
Yeah. But I'm sure Ginger would all be about winning something.
Her quilt was
Well,
beautiful.
maybe that wasn't in this group. Was it in this group that we said post your? We do so many of these things.
Yeah, we can't keep our.
up.
No, I think we did.
But we are having a giveaway in the
punch needle.
Punch needle. So go look at the punch needle video, even if you don't like punch needle. Of course, if you don't like punch needle, you won't like the prize, because the prize has to do with punch needle. So I'll have to go back and watch that today and see what we've decided we said to do. But if we didn't say last week on this video to post pictures of your Christmas quilts, go ahead and do that on our Insiders page. We'd love to see it. I was going to bring one today, but I had so much stuff in my arms I couldn't fit it in. And so probably I would get out my wagon and start bringing my wagon to work.
You need to start bringing your wagon again.
Yeah.
You used to bring your wagon.
I used to bring my wagon.
You used to load up your wagon and.
Oh my goodness. That's when we were teaching in class, you know, and I had to bring all the stuff. But now that we're teaching online, it's a whole different thing. You have all your stuff right there at home. I don't need to drag out stuff in case somebody forgot something. Now, I am going on retreat. The State Guild is having their summer retreat this next week. It always coincides with the Quilters Hall of Fame celebration. And that's in Marion, Indiana. If you didn't know that we are the home, Marion is the home of the Quilters Hall of Fame, the Marie Webster House. It's a nationally known museum in the quilting industry, right here in our backyard. So if you have a weekend or if you have a weekday and you and your girlfriends need something to do, hop in your car and everybody chip in for the gas, because you know how much gas is these days. Chip in and have a day out at Marion. I've been scoping out all the antique shops in Marion, and it looks like they've got a couple, so I'll be visiting those. And they've got a Goodwill. Of course, you know I'll be going to that. So it's no grass is going to grow under my feet this weekend. We start Wednesday, and we sew till Sunday. Can you imagine being in a group, in a building full of ladies that are just sewing for that many days together? It's awesome. Well, we used to have a gentleman that sewed with us, but he doesn't come anymore. I think he got sick and wasn't able to come anymore. Had to rewrite our bylaws because our bylaws were kind of gender offensive. Is that what they call it? I don't know. You know, all the she's had to be turned to thems or she's, he's, or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, the Quilters Hall of Fame. They're having all kinds of events. Go ahead and look them up online.
Free? Are they free to go?
Oh, several things are free. Yeah. They're going to have a silent auction. They're going to auction some fun stuff off. Some old quilt supplies that people bring in. You can find some real bargains too on fabrics and backings and all kinds of things. And then, I don't know who they're inducting into the Quilters Hall of Fame. Our group, the Indiana Quilt Guild, we induct a person from our area. Now the Marie Webster House, they induct somebody nationally. And then we choose somebody local. And this year it's Judy Tesher. She's a lady from Pendleton. And she's special to me because she taught my mom how to quilt. And so my mom would not have been a quilter had it not been for Judy Tesher. And my mom was a hand quilter, and there's just not very many people out there teaching hand quilting anymore. And so I will always be beholden to Judy. Hi, Judy. I hope you're watching. Because she taught my mom how to quilt. I think that's really awesome. My mom didn't start quilting until late in life because she was a single mother and her money had to go for rent. And
Who taught you how to quilt?
Tammy and Tammy mostly. I worked for Tammy in her gift shop before I worked for her in her quilt shop.
I saw that wonderful block she designed for blockheads.
Yeah. Wasn't that the Snail's Trails?
She's a great designer.
She's good. I think she's excellent myself. Of course, she's my best friend, so, you know, I'm a little biased there. But
She's very talented.
yep.
We had a video on our YouTube channel of you and Tammy.
Yep. She came to visit, and we made her sit down and be part of our YouTube family.
That was fun.
It was fun.
I can't wait to do another video with her again.
Yeah. Well, she'll be back in town in August, but we're headed to another retreat. So I'm just picking her up from the airport, and we're going to head out to Primitive Gatherings and have a Moda retreat. Cappy and Lenine are going to go with us this year. We had some Moda people back out, and so I asked if Lenine and Cappy could come in their place, and they said yes. And so that sounds like triple T, if you ask me. Trouble with a capital T. I think I'm going to learn things about Cappy and Lenine that I didn't know before. Like, I think Lenine snores. I mean, I've heard that rumor. I don't know. I will be finding out, I suppose, because we are going to be in the same dorm room. And then I also heard she's she goes to bed early. Now, when we go to these retreats, you know, we stay up till 11 or 12 o'clock at night sewing. Now, not Tammy. Tammy's pretty early. She goes to bed pretty early. But since she's been out in Texas, she's been staying up later. They've Texified her.
Has she been going to the rodeos?
She hasn't been going to the rodeos, no. But she's been going to the softball games and soccer games because, you know, she's got grandkids out there, little grandkids. Well, they're growing fast, though. Don't have any Chloe stories this week. She's just as sweet as can be, though. Just my sweet baby girl. I belong to this Facebook group about miniature schnauzers. I'm gonna have to unjoin that group because they're just showing the cutest.
Oh.
And there's this little boy white schnauzer on there this week. Oh,
did you get him?
Oh, I wish I could have. He had a little green collar on. I mean, my name was all over him. But no, I didn't get him. I can't take on one more thing like that. But they're adorable. They do the cutest things. do the cutest things. She's such a good hugger. You know when you don't feel good and your dog comes up and gives you a kiss and hugs you?
Our Bella is the perfect hugger.
Is she?
She'll come up and put her arms around you.
Yeah. Now she's
and
tall.
give you a hug.
Is she tall?
She'll get on her hind legs.
Yeah. So she's, I mean, if Chloe did
she's
that,
long
she'd
enough.
be hugging my thigh.
Yeah, she's long enough.
You know.
Yeah, but she's up on the bed. So when she's on the bed,
yeah.
and we come home, she'll hug us.
Oh. See, that's just a feel-good moment, isn't it? Okay, now I've got both blocks sewn. And now I need to do a beginner and an ender. And somebody asked in one of the videos, what are you going to do with all your beginner and enders? I'm not sure. I'm going to keep just sewing them together by the pair. And then and someday I'll take these and I'll press all of them open. And I'll make 4 patches. And then I might turn 4 patches into 9 patches. And I might turn 9 patches into 18 patches. You know, you just never know what I'm going to do.
And then it might turn into a quilt
or
2.
Someday it will turn into a quilt. But might as well be making another.
So I was at the antique store in Crawfordsville, and they had a tin there. I think it was exactly 4 inches, Dawn. It was a Ritz cracker tin.
Really?
An antique Ritz cracker tin.
Did it come home with you?
No. I didn't know if my blocks would fit. I didn't know if it was...
Peter.
It looked like it was just... 4 inches.
4 inches, though. That's not big enough because these.
It definitely would have held at least
4.5.
100.
Yeah, but these are 4.5 inches.
Yeah, it
before
wouldn't
they're
have fit.
sewn in.
It wouldn't have fit.
Yeah. Do you not carry a measuring tape around in your pocket? Places.
You know, I'm gonna have to start doing that.
Yeah.
I bet you that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Well, when you go to an antique store, you need to be carrying you a measuring tape with you.
Well, I found out they have a huge flea market at the Hamilton County Livestock Auction place.
Oh, really?
On Thursdays, they have
every Thursday?
Every Thursday, there's 2 buildings indoors where they do indoor stuff. And then they have...
On Thursdays.
And then they have, and then they fill the whole grounds with vendors.
Instead of being off on Wednesdays, are you going to start being off on Thursdays?
Well, I have a vacation in August.
Oh,
so
I see.
I'm going to go check it out on Thursday.
Oh, well, let me know. What are you going to take with you? You going to take your measuring tape?
Yep.
Good job. Okay, I'm going to turn off all my lights. And I'm going to go over to the wall because that's my favorite part. Come on. See, that didn't take very long at all to do those blocks today. Now, I'm going to have to do my next week blocks today because I'm going to be at retreat. I'm not going to take all my stuff with me to retreat. So I'm going to do my blocks today. But I'll be with you. And Peter, oh, he's fine. We'll deal with that. Look at this. Oh, broken dishes is first. Look at that. Look at that with the gray and the black. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, I might like that combo with some other time too, because I like that a lot. And then here are my Kim Deal blocks. Broken dishes are first. Now, for some reason, in my mind, I thought we had already done this block, but we have not. I don't see it up there anywhere. So I was just dreaming that. And then Cappy's blocks. Broken dishes go first. And then her fireflies. All right, there's our wall. Oh, I'm so proud of it. Aren't you proud of it, Peter?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
We are really, there's a vacancy up there in Cappy's because I took this block down.
Here, I'll put it up there.
Peter is going to multitask and put the block up there. Good job, Peter. Okay, there's our blocks. We've done it again. Block number 31 and 32. So, next Monday, I'll be back. I get back on Sunday. I'll get home on Sunday just in time to gather my stuff up for another day of working on Monday, and that'll be fun. So get your blocks done. Post pictures of your Christmas quilts for us so we can be
Christmas
inspired.
in July.
Christmas in July so we can be inspired, okay? Alrighty, have a good week. Bye-bye.